why can't you just be normal? Oh,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You can't even say hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, my Sheila, please. Can we please? Oh my goodness, that was, oh my God.
Welcome to the Dynamite book. We appreciate you tuning in. Today's episode, we will be code switching throughout the entire thing.
I thought we said no code switching.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
we'll show it off in
March. I was about to say something crazy.
Say it.
No. Because I would like to actually keep one of these streams up for once. You know what? People like, I missed it. I want to go watch it. Well,
not that one. See,
not that one.
I got no problems on the whole internet, my business. It was the one comment that I made that I was like, is that a threat? What is the legal definition? I was, as a matter of fact, let's wipe that. Good morning, Saints. Welcome to church.
Hello, Saints. Yeah. And speaking of church, here's the offering plate. Sharing is caring. This is
there's a story in the Bible about niggas like you.
Well, niggas
Jesus,
like me.
Jesus would have flipped this table. He would have flipped this table.
Me have a birthday on Friday, so
that's true. It's Lyric's birthday
on Friday. I turned 27. I will accept $2.70. I will accept $27, $270, or 27 cents if it's really like that. I'm not judging.
She's not picky.
I'm not picky, guys.
Your birthday gift won't be there till March, though. Neither one of them. Because remember, I told you I got you a fun one and then a regular one.
But it's okay. I just honestly appreciate you sending something. I wasn't expecting that at all.
It's gonna come like weeks after your birthday. You'd be like, who the fuck sent me this?
You know what's crazy? This is gonna sound kind of sad, but I don't want anybody to be sad or anything. But I don't think I've gotten a real birthday gift in like 2 years. It's okay because I typically take myself on a trip or something. So like, not this year, but I got a Beyonce ticket, so that's fine.
Shut up. Fuck you. I'm big on for as much as I am like, fuck all these niggas, I'm very sentimental. So I'm huge on birthdays. I'm huge on like no holiday, half a date of significance will pass without me acknowledging it and probably tearing up a little.
Oh, yeah. I'm big on like anniversaries or things. Like I'm like that person to be like, do you know, like it's been like 6 years since you sent me this text message exactly the day, and people be like, huh, that's kind of crazy. But you know,
I just keep receipts. That's just.
Oh well, I mean, I don't mean, I mean it in a good way, not in a.
I got niggas blocked and numbers unsaved that I still, just in case I ever needed to expose them.
Oh, look. You know, that's fair.
Anyway, welcome to the Dynamite book. This week we probably should at least talk about wrestling a little bit.
Well, you know what? You know, I feel like this episode they kind of forced us to, because every time they open up with Hangman, we will always.
We're tuned in, babe.
We are open with Hangman and close with Kenny Omega into Kestra. I said,
baby, this for me.
Prime
viewer number one. Prime viewer number one.
So you know what? Let's go ahead and we can jump right into the start. Well, you know what? Before that, I want to briefly talk about the Grand Slam Australia match, the tag match.
Crafted in a lab just for me, folks. This was I loved it so much. And there will be a very delayed episode of Black Girl Wrestling about it. I actually finished it. But y'all want me to lie? I don't know how to edit it. So I was trying to put it in iMovie and I ran out of storage. So
oh my God, that happens to me all the time.
That's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So please listen to it when it comes out though. But yeah, Grand Slam Australia. I had a great time, top to bottom, and this tag match was exactly what you thought it was going to be and more. Everybody named Mama was having fun. Will Ospreay had the time of his life, babe.
Oh, the way he looked at Kenny, I
The
said, "You
fuck
just
up.
like us." I said, "You just like us, Billy."
Go ahead and drop that password in the never mind. Sorry. I
Wait,
could just
you have
get
Premiere Pro? Seriously, like, no. If you like so serious, you can DM either of us. I'll make sure it gets to Dan. I might use it myself too. Um,
it's okay.
you know what I've realized
I'll
though,
just
because
buy
like
it.
this year is about to make. I think no, next month makes I think 2 months. I mean, not 2 months, but 2 years since I started doing wrestling content. I said, yeah, I think I've been doing this too long to just get away with just simple iMovie stuff. One, I need to buy an external hard drive because I'm running out of storage bad.
That sounds hard.
I mean, it's really not that hard. It's like a flash drive.
I hate podcasting. I really do. I hate recording it. I hate planning it. I hate everything about it.
I hate planning it.
Unfortunately, I feel like it's
thing
the only way to go about things and like actually get any type of traction is to do it consistently. But I fucking hate doing it.
I've realized I like actually podcasting, like the talking part of it. I hate every other part of it. So planning it, scheduling it, all of it. Like I love just chatting. I'm a real yapper, but I don't like the technical bits of it. And then like especially when people like start hounding you, it's like with Maps and Graps. It's so crazy because I guest starred on another podcast earlier this week, and one of the questions that people ask, they say, "Hey, Lyric, when is your podcast coming back?" I said,
I'm like,
I said, "Are you coming?" I said, "Are y'all in?" Oh my god!
And the bad part about podcasting is literally like, well, I just feel like I be telling jokes, and I'm like, that was corny as fuck. That was lame.
I think the real worst part about podcasting is that you will put so much effort into it. You'll talk and yap away for like 3+ hours, and yet you'll see. Never mind.
I never do 3
that
hours.
Was about to go. That was about to go to hell.
I'll do it. You will see some people who know nothing, do nothing, no talent, no laughs, even half a giggle, and these niggas doing crazy numbers just because they got a pair of headphones and a bald forehead. So sometimes
with a vintage WWE title in the background.
Oh brother!
Ooh, I want a belt.
Oh my god. Anyway, I enjoyed Grand Slam Australia.
Yeah, I feel like that tag match is something we shouldn't take for granted. Those are two of already the greatest wrestlers of all time, and two people who will probably end up being some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It was really, the thing is so crazy. I can't say it's like the old goats versus the new goats because, bro, Ospreay's like 30 something. Like he's still so young, but at the end of the day, he's already accomplished so much. And seeing what it meant to him to team with Kenny, and also it's just like I've said this numerous times. I said call Kenny Omega Erica Kane because that was the episode of all his children. You know,
I'll get into my Kenny Omega grazing later. I can't. I gotta save it.
There's so many people to glaze tonight. Like fuck. I mean,
it's in the air.
It's in the air, you know. But I said this. I don't mean any pun intended. But that match was Kenny's learning tree, essentially. Like those are all
these bitches are his sons.
Truly.
And it doesn't end there.
It doesn't. That was just a glimpse. Now I will say there was a tweet last night. I think a Boo said it, and it was talking about how he is.
Who's that?
From Twitter? It doesn't matter anyway. But he was saying like it's obvious that Kenny is past his physical and athletic prime coming off the mat, which is true. And like I think it's 100% true. But he is elevated in so many other ways that he's probably, if he does this right, which he definitely will,
always do,
he's going to end up probably having maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest, run of his career. In the sense,
let me say this. Am I sitting here denying the natural passage of time and the toll that it takes on all of our mortal beings? No, that would be absurd. What I am saying is that Kenny Omega, past his physical prime, 99.9% of wrestlers still can't lace his fucking boots.
No, 100%. I think, but
no, I'm not like, I don't know who said it, so I don't really care. But the competition, it's just, there are certain people that are fully just in leagues of their own. And the only person that you can measure Kenny Omega against is a different version of Kenny Omega. That's all it is.
Well, that's the point.
It's LeBron, it's Lewis Hamilton, it's this, that, and a third. And so not even necessarily just from the storytelling aspect, because he always nails that. And so I get what you're saying and being like, he's still set up for a run of a lifetime. Still physically. We're not going to sit up here and
correct. No, not at all. I'm saying that, especially in a ring with, so Kenny used to be the freak athlete, right, in wrestling. Agreed. But like you, in a match like that he was in, he's against like the other younger freak athletes. But I've realized of just his athleticism is not what makes him the greatest wrestler in the world. His athleticism is not what makes him the god of professional wrestling. It's at this point, it's simply because he's just Kenny Omega and he's just that damn good. Like, and like the Gate match was a really good example of it. It's completely different than the Ospreay Tokyo Dome match. Like, I feel like in the Ospreay match, he's trying to prove that, no, I'm still faster than you. No, I still move better than you. I'm still more athletically gifted than you. Like, I can do things that you can't. In the Gate match, he said, actually.
Well, because, but in between he almost died. So.
Well, yes. But
I know what you mean, though.
Yes. But in the Gate match, it's more so of like, I am better than you, but it's not because of all the things I can do in the ring. It's because I'm him. I'm really him. I'm your dad. You will address me as such. It is what it is. I'm gonna do what it do. I'm a sick fuck. I'm gonna bleed. I'm gonna do all sorts of crazy stuff in the Tokyo Dome. Because this is who I am. He said, "Look at all this. I built all this. I built all this. You think they care about me?
You know what? But I have more to say on this later, and we could go on a Kenny Omega tangent, and then this show is 3 hours long. So let's put a pin in it, because I will circle back. I have points.
Of course. So Hangman and MJF kicked off the show.
Oh yeah, that's traditionally a great way for us to start on topic, is Hangman Adam Page. Of course, we won't go off on a tangent about him.
Somebody said Shibata is Gabe's daddy. Kenny is the rich auntie.
You know what?
Cook.
Yeah.
Cook.
Yeah. You know what? Hangman Adam Page. I can't remember the last time I was not upset at seeing that scarf come out there. Hangman Adam Page, the man that you are, the character that you are. And we said it on this show last week and even beforehand that this was Money in the Bank, baby. Because there's so much to say, so much to critique about Hangman as a character, because he has evolved so much and continues to do so, that if MJF missed on this, it was going to be very, very telling. And he didn't. I will give that uneven spray tan fake scarf having bitch his due tonight. He stepped up to the plate and made a compelling 20. I cannot remember the last time that I enjoyed 20 minutes of
Oh, Danny, the Wi-Fi is beating you up again.
Should I kill myself? Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh. Well. How's everybody doing tonight? Anyway.
I'm listening.
Yeah. MJF tonight still, in my opinion, got outdone by Hangman. But it was because, for a couple of reasons. One, because Hangman just has more substance to his character right now. So him having the realization and him standing up for Christopher Daniels is like, girl, you don't want to kill him.
You know what, though? What I've realized is just, it comes down to exactly what he said in the promo. Jalen, that's so real. MJF, I can never give you a 10, but I'll give you a mild 7. So promo so good, I sat through a 20-minute MJF segment and didn't complain. But what Hangman said in the promo, I think, is why MJF got outdone is because he said, "I'm real," and I think he comes off so authentic. And even too, the fact that MJF do it well, because for the first time I think in a while, I could tell he was trying to, like, he knew he couldn't mess this up. And so, like, you know, he's trying, but for Hangman, it's just so effortless. Like, at the end of the day, the people chose him. You can say whatever you want about him. You can
People's
do it.
princess.
Yeah, but he's
People's princess. And here's the thing, right? Because MJF, there were some, I really enjoy the part of MJF's character where he, like you said, he actually puts in the work, and you see some of that insecurity and that jealousy come out. It made sense for him to present that with Hangman. It made sense for that to come up with I mean, Swerve and Hangman is part of the reason. It's like, okay, you're the chosen boy, whatever. But it makes sense for the premise for this feud on MJF's behalf. What I will say is, like you said, MJF has an innate ability to phone it the fuck in. And that's what gets so frustrating with him, is that not only do you take low-hanging fruit, but it's like you take racist low-hanging fruit, or you take misogynistic low-hanging fruit.
right.
And that's not a version of the character that I'm interested in seeing. This is a version of the character that I'm interested in seeing, which is, why won't everybody love me? What makes you so different from me? I thought that people loved me too. And honestly, especially coming off the better than you baby thing, I understand his point, because they tried to be like, oh, he was always going to turn on Adam Cole, but he didn't. He, you know, like, he was the victim in that, and he did not have the goodwill of the crowd following it. So it's one of those things where you listen to him, and honestly, it doesn't happen very often. The last time that I think it was actually effective might have actually been his CM Punk feud of, you know, oh, this is what's motivating this character. This is why you're being the way that you are right now. And I credit that to Hangman, because I think Hangman pulls out the best in everybody, because his character work is just so top notch that if you're not going to come correct, you're going to look fucking stupid. So I think this feud makes sense to do right now. I'm excited to see both people locked in. I'm excited to, like I said, Hangman, his brow is unfurled, his eyes are clear, his heart is healed. My baby is seeing the light, okay? The end of the tunnel is quickly approaching.
You could even see it in his eyes, bro. Like, his face is clear, his eyes are clear. He's just fine.
And it goes back to the thing where we were talking about a few weeks ago, like, is Hangman a heel? Is Hangman? Why does everybody still love Hangman? Because he still thinks he's been doing the right thing. He still thinks he's walking the right path. He's not somebody he's not a Mariah May that's coming out here and be like, I am the woman for hell, I am the worst, whatever. This whole time, he has been batshit, but he has been real about it. He has been exactly who he thought, you know, he's not proud of everything that he's done, but he did it thinking it was the next right thing to do. And every week you just have to give Hangman his 10s, because he is the most interesting, complex character in wrestling. And yeah, he made me enjoy 20 minutes of MJF talking. That nigga, a miracle worker.
I think one of the things I especially love about him is I think he's just so complete, in the sense of, there are few, how do I say this? I think too, he's innocent. Well, yes. There's few people in wrestling who are genuinely the complete package. I think even wrestlers that I absolutely love and I think are amazing wrestlers, a lot of times they might not have the most compelling characters, and they might not be the most, like, compelling talkers and stuff. He is genuinely, I'm gonna be honest, I'm trying to think of somebody else who is really the full package the way that he is, as far as can do everything excellently. Like, he's S tier in essentially every area. Maybe Bryan Danielson might have been like the only other person who I could say was like a top talker, top wrestler, top level character, great baby face, great heel, like, can do all of it. And I think that for me, that's also been like some of my, I don't want to say this, but that's kind of been some of my the difficulties that I've had with the women's division is that I feel like everybody gets so hung up on character and like, you know, and story, which is great. And I think it's awesome. And I'm so glad that we're investing in women's characters. But at the same time, I think that people use it to excuse things when the wrestling is not great. And I think that I would like to get to a point to where we can have both. Right?
And, you know,
I think like that's been I think like that's for me, I think that's been the problem with like the world title picture and the TBS title picture. I think they both have what the other needs. And can we get both? Like Mercedes has the matches. The world title has the characters and the feuds. Like, you know, like the rivalries, the stories. Can we have both? You know, can is there a way for us to genuinely have both? Can we have those like, you know, those earth-shaking feuds that changes the game, you know, with the great in-between and the Dynamite bills, and then we have excellent matches on pay-per-views that also changes the game just as much. Because I feel like sometimes you could only have one or the other. Like you'll have a shitty build, great pay-per-view match, or great build on a week-to-week basis, and then like the match come and it's like, it's okay, it's good, it's cute, we're fine.
I would argue, I don't disagree with you. I think that this Hangman's not a good example of it because Hangman makes lemons out of lemonade. That's not the expression.
Correct. I will say though.
Makes lemonade out of lemon. Wait, that's not even what I mean to say. Like, fuck. He takes very little and works with it. And I think that a lot of times the build, the story, whatever, Hangman's not getting. He's a unique performer and one of very few that's able to make up for things when they lack so substantively. So I think the women's division, I don't know, but I
get you saying. I'm just saying that like I want us to get there. You know, like I want us to get there. And don't get me wrong, he's made a lot of things in the men's division that was absolutely shitty work. Like, hey man, Jay White feud. Listen, that was a rough time, but he made it work. You know, he
out of 15 cents. Thank you.
But you know, and I think that I'm trying to figure out like, because I think that there's a few people with potential to be that person, specifically in the women's division. I just think it still remains to be seen. Like, I think that Kris Statlander has a lot of potential to potentially be that person. I think that Willow Nightingale has a lot of potential to potentially be that person, that dynamic person. And I'm going to be honest, those two, you know what? I thought about this earlier today. I think that the only time that we've probably gotten that out of the women's division is when Willow and Kris were beefing. Where we've gotten both. Like, we've gotten a great matches. Like, of just like, oh, like, and it was non-title.
In addition, I don't think it's just the women's division.
No, I mean, it's everybody.
Look at the world title right now.
Right now, exactly. But world title
I think it's more so a mark of AEW as a whole.
Correct.
I think it's a mark of AEW as a whole. I just think that you've seen a few.
Yes.
Male.
Correct.
A few male things have both. You haven't really seen that on the women's side.
Correct.
I think everybody is unfortunately fighting an uphill battle to make a story when there's not a story, or to have a match when there's not a match.
It's just the ratio.
I agree.
But I agree. But back to the promo. This was really good. And like, I don't give MJF a lot of credit. And I still do not give him too much for this, because the cowboy carried. He chewed. I mean, we knew that. He did.
And he gagged you bad.
And I love how like MJF, he started this off with like something that just MJF would say. Like his whole opening shtick was just very like standard MJF, you know, giving you a rundown of history of how he got here, da 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 da. And Hangman be like, okay, yeah, you did all that, and now what? And I'd be like,
both are no title, face to face, tan to tan.
Ooh. And you want to know what I've also liked about Hangman is that Olive, when everybody else on that roster's tan be looking a mess, he has always gotten his ratio correct.
Always even. It is always even.
It's always even. It's always the right shade.
You know what that is? There's just something inherent about not being a Republican outwardly that manifests itself in your physical appearance. And I'm going to leave that there.
It's not what's on you, it's what's in you.
So
you can tell, man, that vegan progressive lifestyle, it shines.
Hey,
it shines.
It works, baby.
It's the reason why he looks like that, and y'all look like
he glows. He glows. You all reflect.
Clock it. But yeah, I was in Olive Garden watching this.
You know what else? I was sitting there watching this, and I was sitting there watching with my dad, and my dad was like, "Oh," he made a comment about Hangman. He's like, "I just don't really get why people love Hangman either." And I was explaining to him.
Your dad said that?
He did say that, but he be hating. My dad just loves Pyro, so he prefers the other company. But my dad was like, "I just don't understand why people love Hangman so bad." Da-da-da. So I'm going through it and I'm explaining, this is why, this is, you know, whatever. And then I made a joke and I was like, "Ain't he fine?" And my dad was like, "Really? Him?" I was like,
"Who else?" I'm sorry. My fault. I'm gonna be honest, I hate to get into that. Like, you know, I think that everybody's beautiful in their own way, but if
I don't think that
though. If we pull the roster page up right now, like if he's not, who is?
That really shocked me. He was like, you think Hangman's attractive?" I was like, you don't.
They said, "Don't delete this one. I just tapped in."
Sorry.
Who said, "Hey, listen, we've been doing good so far. Ain't no way. We don't know yet.
It's just a matter of time, baby. Just a matter of time." No, it's okay. You meant I was fine. I appreciate it. No, thank you.
I've had men look me in my eyes, say, "Hey, bro, they just hating on God." I swear, y'all be hating them. You know what? It's so crazy because men love to call women jealous. You just don't like her because you think she's too. Men are the most jealous haters ever. Listen, we don't have to lie.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I really think that nowadays a lot of men have this perception of what they think women like.
Correct.
Thank you. I'm kidding. But remember, it's a Dynamite book. If you give one compliment, you have to give the other one. We're communists. But a lot of men have this perception of what women actually like, and they're way, way off. Hangman Adam Page is fine as hell. And if you can't gather that, and it's not even just his physical appearance, because of course it is. It's also just like everything. It's the way that he carries himself. It's the way that he.
When that man said the men's world championship and acknowledged that the women's world championship is just as equal, it's little stuff like that. It's like those. It's like those little things that like. Y'all don't get it. You wouldn't get it.
Like you don't know, and that's why so many of you guys are broken single. You're bitchless because you don't understand what the girls want.
I'm also broken single, but I get what you're saying. I understand.
But here's the difference, though, right? And I was trying to explain this to someone the other day. Girls are broken single in the point where it's like, oh, like the first season of like Sex in the City, or like the first season, like you're the main character. It's your adventure.
Exactly. No, yeah, I'm definitely.
It's your adventure.
In my own movie. Yeah.
You know, it's like men are broken single, and this is. I just don't understand why girls find Hangman attractive. Hairline moving like this, girl. Worry about somebody else.
I think also like too of just,
and he has pretty eyes. Yeah,
there's
correct.
also a sense of, I think like, how do I say, a lot of people don't genuinely enjoy being alone, and I think it's a difference between
I love
being,
it.
I think it's a difference between being single when you don't enjoy being alone and being single and you genuinely enjoy being alone. Like I enjoy my solitude. Like I can't imagine. I'm not gonna lie. If I ever get married, and I don't think that's gonna happen, but if I do, I'm one of those people who believe in having separate bedrooms.
When would I read fan fiction? You just laid up there right next to me.
You know, it's just something, bro. Danny, you get me because, bro, at the end of the night, when you just,
oh, this is awkward.
When you decompress for the night and you log into AO3 and you start scrolling until you fall asleep, bro, I feel like you just become so at peace with yourself, and they'll never get it through. I swear to God. Oh my gosh, I'll show you, bro.
$4.97. $4.97. Like, what I'm gonna do with a nigga laid up?
Like, bro. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it.
So that's my thing. Honestly, I feel like about being single in this era of my life is like, oh, immunity necklace. And by immunity necklace, I mean I can't get in trouble for what I say. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those that law. But immunity necklace.
Hey, Chloe, it depends on the ship. It depends on the ship before I drop thick Rex out here. Just depends on the ship.
Yeah. But I'm 22, right? Like I could have a nigga today, leaving tomorrow. Matter of fact, just did. It's not
Cook.
It's not that. That's why I'm like, so watching people not understand the appeal of Hangman, I'm like, you just have no idea. You're so off base. Mm-mm. So off base. Because niggas think it's niggas like MJF. They think it's people like MJF. They think it's that's nothing.
I have always said this truly. If you want to see who is really over in any wrestling company, and it's been like this since the Shield days, and like I don't even write fan fiction, but I like if you go through the tags on Daddy Chill, like I don't think I've written a fic in like 10 years.
No RPF.
Yeah,
so not wrestling.
Yeah. But
why do I tell you guys
if you scroll through Tumblr and AO3, look at the tags and see who's popular, and that's just true. And it correlates directly to television. There's a reason why girls are still to this day writing Shield fan fiction. You want to know why? Because they just resonated with the girlies at that time, and they're just never going to give them up.
You know what else?
And that's just the truth.
You know what? I will raise you one, and we will talk about the rest of Dynamite. I will raise.
This is important. But this is important.
I need to make like a video essay or something because you guys don't understand that. Teenage girls / young women are the reason that AEW exists.
Correct.
And I sound like Dr. Umar in saying this.
You're so right.
But part of the exponential rise of Bullet Club was the allure of the Golden Lovers. The part of the exponential rise of Kenny Omega and the fame that he brought to New Japan was the arc, and what attracted a lot of girls to that was the Golden Lovers arc.
Correct.
Y'all gonna hate me, but the reality is that storyline and that idea, never mind. It prompted a lot of interest in people who were not watching that type of wrestling yet. It did. And that garnered new kinds of attention. I would love to see like the stats of who was tuned in to watch BTE towards the beginning, because never mind. I'm
gonna be honest, it's not, even if you take like from the beginning out of it, if you talk to people, I'll see people who say like, I just picked up AEW and something. I saw like a Golden Lovers video essay on YouTube, and I started getting into this, and now I'm watching AEW, or now I'm watching old New Japan, in the sense of that directly played into it. And even the Bucks, that's why they make so many Tumblr jokes, is because they know BTE directly played to fandom. Like BTE, that's why the show was constructed the way that it was.
And well, I've said it. I said it earlier, but I am gonna make a Black Girl Wrestling episode. So many women are the backbone of these kinds of things, but thinking particularly about AEW and its creation and its culture, AEW does not garner the sort of attention that it garners without women and fandom. And I would argue a lot of you niggas, a lot of these men copy that same culture, change the terms so that they can feel better about themselves from being separated from what the women are doing.
What about y'all tie that up? I say, hey, come on.
We're doing the same shit, babe.
Clock it.
You sitting up here and you're saying, oh, we're I'll give you an example that my sister and I were talking about last night. An example. You niggas talk about Brawl Out, for example, the same way, with the same devastating consequences as the fandom girls when One Direction got caught smoking in that van. Canon events, babe. Canon events. You care that much.
This is like when Justin Bieber said the N-word. Y'all wasn't there.
You care that much. You are that emotionally.
This is like when Zayn and Perry broke up.
Oof. The first time. That's why I'm like, you just change the terms and you try to make yourself feel better about these things because you are too scared to be associated with what women like, because you actually only care about the other opinions of other men, which is
listen, if I say something, will they shoot me? Will they do something to me?
Maybe.
Will they do something to me? Hey, y'all talk about CM Punk and everybody related to him like the girls talked about Larry Stylinson.
All right.
No, it's truth, and I think we need to say it. And if the girls were crazy, y'all are too.
That's the thing. That's the crux. That's the crux. If you think that girls are crazy for doing XYZ, wrestling Twitter specifically, whatever, you're on Stan Twitter, babes.
And you know what? And I don't think that I think a lot of older women, like especially women older than us, don't have the language to be able to like clock a lot of what's happening and like what was around them because they weren't. But us, the women, the girls who grew up in the fandom generation, in the fanfic generation, in the Tumblr generation, we see this shit exactly how it was. Let me tell you something. Half of us, we were 13, 14, 15 years old as admins of pages running it like the Navy. Running
who do you think
was
hacking in to see them niggas at the airport? Okay.
We are cultures. Even when you talk about like when it comes to wrestling, VPNs, the girls were getting VPNs to watch X Factor UK, all sorts of stuff, to watch the Brit Awards. You just
know nothing about
and I think like we're teenagers, the fandom, and I think the TikTok and a whole bunch of other stuff has ruined it. But the people who were there at the crux of fandom culture, it wasn't just wrestling. It wasn't just like, that is why the Shield got so popular. That is why the Four Horsewomen took over the way that they did. It was because of that culture. It really and it's so crazy. I look back like through my Tumblr, and I was off Tumblr for like 5 years. And like I scrolled down and I'm looking through these old posts and just all of that stuff like that ended up popping off. Like, y'all really wasn't there in them streets. Like, no, Chloe, let's talk about it. 2014, bro. 2014.
Talk about 2014.
Like, it's like a whole different level.
It created widespread internet subcultures.
Correct.
And that's what wrestling is. That's the only reason that AEW exists, is internet subcultures where people feel so vehemently about what they feel about that it it takes over their whole online persona. It takes over their whole, that's why I'm like I said, I'm gonna do a whole Black Girl Wrestling episode on it, so make sure that y'all listen, please. But I'm like, I really, when people don't understand how those two work hand in hand, it's just really funny to me. You think you're better than me?
I also think too of
no, I wrote the ancient texts.
If we take it further, it's not just why AEW exists, it's why WWE survived. Like that it got so sticky. It was awful. About 2016 through 2018, bro. Raw, that shit was awful. Like WWE was god booty butt cheeks awful. But you want to know what preserved it, and it still preserves fans to these days? It was that stand culture, that nostalgia culture to this day, to where all Roman and Seth have to do is look at each other and people say, oh, I'm so locked in for WrestleMania. I'm just so seated, bro. That is it. It's sustained. Like, women have been the backbone of wrestling culture, of keeping it relevant, of talking about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, even if you go into Japanese wrestling, there's so many people who got into DDT, got into Noah, got it specifically teams like Axis. You go to DDT and you see all the lore there. Even New Japan, because women were taking it upon themselves and breaking down the lore into blogs so people could see it, and doing video essays. People and you know what? And photo sets and GIFs and all of that type of stuff, because when women are fans, they actually want to create other fans. So they utilize their platforms to break it down and say, like, oh, if you want to start getting into this, you can watch this. There are people.
But not even just that. Oh, but not even just that. A lot of times, just generally, and then I have to leave at 11:45, so we do have to talk about Dynamite. But a lot of times, men, regardless of how much they do care, love to pretend like they're too cool to care.
Correct.
Women, when they get involved in something, when they get heavily interested in something, and obviously we're speaking in generalizations, like shut up. And we're not excluding or erasing non-binary people. We're not doing that. So shut the fuck up with that fucking rhetoric. I'll jump you right now.
The girls' gays and days are
girls' gays days. You're with me. Care about things so publicly and so outwardly, and unabashedly and unashamed, that it encourages other people to share in that fandom, to share in that, and whatever. So women catch the backbone of the negative rhetoric and this, that, and third. Oh, crazy fangirl, crazy this, that, and the third. When in reality, you're scared to enjoy things, and that's why you're gonna die alone.
Clock that, Chloe. We do this shit because we are culture. We are culture. And I think, and that's also too, and I feel like every time we create a little bit of culture for ourselves, then I think that men try to downplay, oh, you're making friendship bracelets and stuff. Guess what? Those friendship bracelets are the reason why women feel comfortable even going to these shows, because you guys are fucking freaks. And literally, it's how they can bring women next time and bring women with them, because we have to create some type of community for ourselves, because it's been made very clear that we're not included. I have 4 in my bathroom right now. I just can't.
Oh my God, that's funny. These are Kenny and Takeshita. But
I wear my Black Girl Wrestling one every time I do a media scrum.
Oh my God, that actually makes me so happy. But I would argue, and this is my last point, you make fun of things like that and then want me to care about the male loneliness epidemic. Maybe if you made some goddamn friendship bracelets, you'd have some fucking friends.
I think also too of just, how do I say this? You'll see after shows, and I can only speak on AEW shows because I don't really, but particularly like pay-per-view weekends, right? You'll see people after a weekend, they talk about what was the best part, right? And you'll see a lot of girls, they'll be like, oh, building community. You'll see all these group pictures and how much fun they had throughout the weekend. Not even at the wrestling show. I think about Revolution of just, I had so much fun, and it didn't have, or even Windy City Riot, right? Of just, where we are doing so many things, but it has nothing to do with actual wrestling. The wrestling part is cool, but the community part, and like men just don't have that. Like it's not one of those things. It's so funny because somebody when I was on Keeping It Strong Style, that's who was hosting that party, that the pre-party that for Windy City Riot, and they were like, yeah, like you brought like all your friends, and I was like, like that was our first time actually meeting in person, like that was of just because we
you
and your sister, yeah. But like we actually really build community, like of just.
And this show only exists because I saw a lyric getting jumped on Twitter one day for a take I agreed with, and I said, "Girl, don't let them jump you." Fight back.
And that's why I will always say, like, one of my favorite things. Don't get me wrong, I'm so proud of all the things that I've gotten accomplished through wrestling. But at that time in my life when I first got into this, the thing that I needed most in life, more so than was community. All my friends had moved, and like I had like one of my best friends decided to drop me after they got in a relationship, and like I went from like
me too. Last week we talked about breakups. This week we should talk about friendship breakups.
Friendship breakups really hurt. Like they hurt so bad.
Never mind. That was gonna be another threat, and then we're gonna have to delete this one.
I know. I remember like one of my best friends, like we broke up in 2022, right before I spiraled into that huge, gigantic depression that got me to reconnect with wrestling, and my entire life changed. And then I built community, and like so something good came out.
What happens when you drop bad friends?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, of course.
I without getting too into it, you guys remember last week if you were here, my best friend was roommates with my ex at the time.
You didn't say that last week.
My best friend and my ex were roommates in college when I had graduated.
Was he younger than you?
Yeah, but only by a couple months. But remember, I graduated early.
You did. So you did graduate early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody moves at their own pace, and mine was faster than the rest of you bitches. Not you guys, them. And education's important, but you don't have to go to college. All this stuff. But so yeah. But back to Dynamite. that one friendship breakup. I think about it every day.
Bro,
it was bad shit, bro. When I tell you, like I said, because my regular breakup and my friendship breakup were happening at the same time, and they were roommates. So I was like, y'all sitting up there talking about me, aren't you? Oh, Danielle did this.
Friendship breakup, bro. Like it hurts. So
let me not issue another thread. Let's move on before I get on a watch list. I'm like, before I talk about this, I'll tell you later.
I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. I'm just so grateful for fandom, for community, and I think that's why it was really important to us to like have this space because I realized, like, I'm not gonna lie, being in wrestling media and everything for women, it's just like I feel like there's a pressure to be over professional, even though none of your male counterparts have that type of pressure, or like they don't even care and they're so unprofessional. And I think also too,
you know what, they're also not funny or talented. No, we're very smart.
But what I'm saying is that I had to realize that for me, like the part of my platform that I think that at least I think most people like about me are the people that I care to like about me is being authentic. And I will say, like, none of this happens for me without being a fan girl first. Like, that's why I learned how to write. That's why I learned how to, like, communicate with people of different communities, how to make, like, I'm gonna be honest, I went to a 99% Black school from K through 12. Like, bro, like being able to connect with like different, people my age of different demographics, races, regions of the world, of the city, of the country and the world, because we have common interests. That is so. I hate you, Danny. What are you doing? I eat people. What are you? have never learned any of that without fan culture. Like, and also too, I came from like a background that I couldn't leave my house half the time. Like, I grew up poor, so fandom taught me how to dream of just like, oh my God, like this is happening in New York. This is happening in this place. One day I'll be able to do it. One day I'll be able to go. One day I'll be able to go to pay-per-views in person. I'll be able to go to. This is true. And yeah, it's a superpower. And so many of the girlies that I know that now that like, especially who write, so much of it started from just writing theories furiously into their notes app about whatever hyperfixation that they have on any given week about a TV show or a movie.
You know what though?
Match or
I know it just you talked about hyperfixations. My autism gals, and non-binary pals, I get so worried every day. I'm gonna wake up and just like not care about wrestling anymore. Every day, because I'm like, Black Girl Wrestling is essentially like that's a spam to me. It's a wrestling spam, and I'm like, one of these days, I'm just gonna wake up and be cured of it, and everybody's gonna be like, wait, what happened? And I'm like, oh, this whole community that we tried to build. I'm gonna be like, yeah, sorry.
I used to think that, and then I'm gonna be honest, and I realized I turned 27 on Friday. I have been a wrestling fan this year will make 19 years. Unfortunately, no, Jayla, I think we should say it. From my bank account, I wish that I really wish that I woke up cured of this shit. But I don't think that it's ever going to happen. Okay, pause. I'm not going to say I don't think it's ever going to happen. But until the elite retires, I'm unfortunately locked in. That's fair. I am very, very so locked in.
Genuinely, the day Kenny Omega retires, you guys are gonna have to put me on a watch list.
Yeah,
you're gonna need to make sure I'm in a facility. I wish I was kidding. Like to the point where it's one of those things where I'm like, it's not even just like a parasocial relationship. It's like, wow, my happiness increases exponentially when Kenny Omega is in and around wrestling. It does. When Kenny Omega when I knew he wasn't.
Oh, your Wi-Fi is winning.
Then you will be upset.
I'm sorry.
Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Yeah, I guarantee you, I'm gonna wake up one day and just like not care anymore. And it's honestly, I think it's coming. I give it another 3 months.
AEW got like, I'm not gonna say that they got like one bad decision away from me putting this shit down for at least a couple months. Like, I know that they can do it.
Still world champion by my birthday in May. I'm just deleting both accounts.
I'm not even gonna hold you to. It's like if we actually make it all the way to July, but you know what would make me crash out? If we make it all the way to July, right, for All In, and Kenny Okada goes as planned and it's amazing, but Mox and Darby main event with no pop, bro, especially being there in person, I think I'll be done. I think that'll really make me like crash out. Like that would make me crash out.
You're not gonna get, I firmly believe you're not gonna get a Darby world title match without a pop. So it's not, that would be even worse to me because it would, because it would get a reaction and then fuck. But honestly, my whole thing with the world title, I'm like, how long does it take to climb Everest? Like dead ass.
At least a month. And for him, have you seen him? He's
he's literal.
Be real. Well, he survived it.
He's lit. Look, he came. Look, when he thought he was going that first time, he came on AEW and he said, "Thank you for being."
He gave his own eulogy.
I'm gonna die, but this has been great. Is he coming back? Is the dead ass? You think it take 2 to 3 months to get up Everest?
Yes.
Maybe I'm underestimating like a
mountain. No, you're drastically underestimating. Like, bro, and especially like I had a friend. It took her to like She climbed the highest mountain in South America, and I think it took like almost a week. So like Everest, I think is like almost twice that.
Wait, how does climbing the highest mountain in South America take you a week and Everest take you 3 months?
Because Everest is much higher.
Are these niggas just going slow?
And she was with a group, and also too like of just like helping.
What if you
run up Everest? Yeah, yes, Chloe. That's it. It's the lack of oxygen. That's really it.
Can't you take like a mask with you? Can't you take an oxygen mask with you?
You gonna need. I mean, yeah, but that tank gonna run out eventually.
Yes, I know people die climbing Everest.
You can only take just so much stuff up there.
I just don't think it would be that hard. And I know that that's not right. I know I understand that that's delusional. So I want to separate that from the actual truth. I know statistically that
he's already what, like 100 pounds.
You have nothing to lose. Like, you cannot lose weight up there, girl.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. To be honest, and I hate to talk about stuff like this, is morbid. Oh wait, no, that's gonna sound just really fucked up.
Because don't you have to carry like a backpack or something with you? Like,
yes,
like Darby. I don't know how much you bench, but if you,
bro, if we went. I don't want to. This is gonna sound fucked up regardless. So I might as well just say it. If we wasted 5 months,
pause. That's crazy. Wasted is crazy. If this nigga, God forbid, you talk about we wasted 5 months of the world title picture, lyric.
No, because it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. Nobody told him to go. In fact, they hired Jay White as a mercenary last year to break his foot, and he still went up there.
That nigga got hit by a bus. He said, "You know what's next for me?"
When Tony Hawk looked at him and said, "Hey, this Darby, he a crazy motherfucker." When Tony Hawk said that,
Tony Hawk said you got something wrong with you, and you said,
Tony Hawk said, "Bro, come on, man."
I think, you know what though? I think Darby can do it. For some reason,
I hope he does. I truly do.
Like that. You didn't.
No, I mean, I'm saying I hope he does because I genuinely do want him to survive. But
I would hope. That's crazy. Otherwise, this would be a crazy part of the show. Talk about have to take something down. Shit.
No, I genuinely want him to survive. I just don't get why. Why do you have to go up there right now? I will say, like,
when else?
When you're not in line for the world title.
But like, that's not up to him. You said that y'all niggas need me figured out. Talk about Darby bulking up. How much can Darby bulk up, bruh? And I'm not trying to be one of those people that's like, oh, he's too little to be convincing. It's not about that. This is a survival thing.
Adam Cole bulking up.
Yeah, he looking real good, respectfully.
He do. Yeah, he do. Adam Cole, respect.
2 to 3 months. I'm saying Darby bulking up. 2 to 3 months of going up there and doing all that. Like, I just what's gonna be left?
And also,
because here's the thing. If he goes and he climbs Everest, right? You not only we gotta wait the 2 to 3 months for him to do it, you gotta recover.
Yes.
You know, like you're not just coming off Everest and debuting it, you know, at Double or Nothing. Like
he's gonna be so malnourished.
What he look like right now?
Oh yeah, I'm like, bro, we so nosy. Why I look too? I wanted to see too. I said,
what he doing?
I ain't seen him. I ain't know.
Let's see.
I haven't seen it. Hold on. What's his tag pictures look like?
Y'all gonna make me re-download Instagram just to see this shit.
Oh, he does look a little strange.
He's training with DDP. But here's the thing, right? I don't want to... If I was climbing Mount Everest, I would want to train with people who have climbed Mount Everest. Not just like, DDP has done great stuff and, like, he's, like, you know, fitness or whatever. But he ain't ever been up there. I want to know, you know, from somebody who successfully climbed Mount Everest, how do I need to be physically prepared to do this?
Training with wrestlers who can't commit to anything?
Like, I'm like, No. Best of luck to that man. I don't know. Can you send me the picture? I still can't find him. Anyway. Anyway, what happened next on Dynamite? You remember Dynamite? All Elite Wrestling.
We had a show tonight. That's a good question. I also wanted to say, Christopher Daniels, I love you. I love you so much, Christopher Daniels. You're amazing. You actually have never done anything wrong in your entire career. I hope that you have a blessed day and a great night and everything in between. You amazing, amazing, amazing person. Next, we had the Ops versus the Patriarchy. Listen, this is the only time in life I'll ever root for the Ops. I never root for Ops to win, but here we are. Samoa Joe, you are a miracle worker. That's all I'm gonna say. Hook is gonna get another stadium match.
Y'all lied. He looked the damn same. Y'all lied.
Right.
He done put on like 10 pounds.
How recent?
This is February 4th.
Which one? What you looking at?
DDP Yoga.
Oh, I didn't watch the video.
He done put on 12 pounds max. That's not enough.
You talking about this throwback video?
No.
Oh, what am I looking at?
I'm gonna look up how much weight do you lose climbing Everest.
Stop.
Because if so, maybe I should try it. I've been going to Orange Theory and it's doing exactly what I want to do. But like,
you're on Orange Theory?
Huh. Yeah, and I fucking hate it. But I go 3 times a week. And I just started doing Pure Bar in addition. So it's like, whatever. You can lose like, no, guys, not climb. Sorry. This is All Elite Wrestling had a show tonight. What else happened?
Well, I just said you never said anything, or did you not care about the Patriarchy versus the Ops? I said it, but
not really. Shibata, I love you. That's it.
I do. The Mount Everest climbers can lose between 10 and 40 pounds or more. Oh, fuck.
If you think Darby Allin has 40 pounds to lose,
bro. And y'all, here's the thing: we gotta wait for him to gain it back. That's the thing. We also, and this is best case scenario, you have to wait for him to recover, gain it all back, then get into a program and hope that it's compelling.
Was fun.
And hope that it's compelling enough to pack the house for a stadium, the first stadium show in the United States. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, this doesn't sound like a good idea. And I hate to be that person. I hate to be that person. I don't want to get into the business weeds of everything, but this is the first U.S. stadium show. They've only sold 10,000 tickets so far. Like, they've only sold 10,000 tickets. Don't get me wrong, the diehards are going to be there, but no, if you do have only 20,000 people in a stadium, yes, it will be considered a failure. Business-wise, it will.
I gotta say though, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to risk it this way. But if Darby Allin can cut a promo from the top of Everest,
hey man,
and then come back and win the world title,
every news station is gonna pick that shit up though.
That's why I'm like,
mainstream media will pick that up.
If you guys can pull that off, amen, I'll take all the else. It's not a good idea for us to be in this position. It would be.
That he did say he was gonna plant the AEW flag up there once he got up there.
Right. You don't have 40 pounds to lose. I know. I'm sorry. I'm stressed about this, y'all. But it just in my head, like, I just like wrote him off as like, oh, he's climbing Everest, like kayfabe. And now I'm like, fuck. That little
bitch. You're rich. If you just want to like fly him up there in your private jet and just drop
to
him off
say he went,
take the picture and just let him go away for a few weeks, like we think like he climbing. I'm all for it.
That little bitch a helicopter. put the little flag on, and bring him back down. Because I'm like, this is gonna haunt me, guys.
No, but you want to know why? It's real because it haunted us when he gave us the eulogy the first time.
That was so.
I think we did the show. We did the show, and we were like, "That was dark." That was dark.
He was like, "It's been fun. Thank you for the opportunity of a lifetime. If I never see you again, I'm not planning to." Whoa.
I will say, don't get me wrong. Everybody talking about all in the comments. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. If it's 10 people there, 10,000, 100,000, I will say I will be there because I'm going crazy that week. I'm seeing Beyonce the week before. Good wrestling with some of my best friends, at wrestling. It's gonna be great back-to-back weekends, hot girl summer. That is my vacation.
I'm going to Greece in September, so I don't get to have fun before then.
You're not going to All In?
Not at the moment.
You have to come. I need you to come. Seriously. No, I need you to.
I'm trying to get to Revolution because I'm like, fuck. Looking at this Revolution card, I'm like, y'all kind of need.
Listen. Here's the thing.
Everybody and their mama gonna be there with me.
I gotta save my Hail Mary. Because I know that there's always at least one pay-per-view a year that I don't plan for, that I put a Hail Mary in last minute because the card be so crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, whichever card that Swerve versus Omega ends up being on, that's probably where I need to be. And if they do a Osprey Omega rematch, I also do need that. I'm not gonna hold you. And anywhere,
guys, how much PTO do I have? Is the
anywhere that Mercedes versus Athena is, I'm in there. I'm talking about, are you my friend? Are we locked in? And also same thing for the threequel for Mercedes versus Willow or Mercedes versus that. We need that. I do need that. I need that bad.
My
so Revolution
is caught in my nose.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
I do believe that. Don't get me wrong. The Revolution card is gonna be gas, but I can live without seeing it in person. If some matches,
I wasn't expecting it. Okay, I'm free. I wasn't expecting it to be so good. I was not.
I expected Revolution to be good because here's the thing.
I forgot about it. Honestly, you want me to lie?
Tony Khan knows that the Death Riders is not resonating, but he's made so many deals with these people to where he's just like, let me just load up the cards and hopefully they don't see it. They just ignore it. He said, let me just load up and give y'all everything else y'all want.
And you know what?
It works. Not gonna change. Yeah, and I can always turn the show off at the end.
And I do.
I can always turn the show off right before the main event. I'm gonna give Mox versus Cope. I'm gonna give Mox versus Cope 5 minutes. And if it doesn't resonate,
I'm not gonna do that even.
Ooh. If it doesn't move me in 5 minutes, I'm just gonna turn it off, and I'm sure the rest of the card will be amazing. Listen, we got Mercedes wrestling Joshi's again on pay-per-view. We're so bad. I just think, the world title, I think it just made me even more frustrated when you saw the show was started by the Hangman MJF, which was excellent. The show was ended by the international title stuff, which was excellent. Why is the world title Toni Storm got a crazy pop tonight.
She got a standing ovation.
Bro. So for the men's world title to be the least engaging, moving stuff on the card, it actually hurts at this point. It's embarrassing.
You know what it is? It's giving. And, it's giving MJF's reign and just a point of feeling stale. Because,
it's worse than MJF's reign.
It's the same with, I was going to make this point with Toni Storm, but I'll make it now because generally, now you have both world champions on their badillionth world title reign. And I ask myself, looking at this company, looking at this roster, I understand how we got here. Thank you for Toni Storm. I understand how we got here, and it makes sense. The problem was that we never built anything for Mariah or Tony outside of each other when they were feuding with each other. So this was only ever the final destination, a fourth title reign for her. I ask myself, does Toni Storm need to be world champion 4 times before Willow Nightingale's world champion? No. Does Jon Moxley need to be world champion 4 times before another Hangman run?
Will Ospreay.
Or Will Ospreay's world champion? Before, no. So it is, and you can, I just go back to that when I get frustrated about where the company is with the world titles. It's like an over-reliance on certain people. And it's a cycle because you write people into being top guys or top stars, and then you don't know how to have them lose and retain that, or how to, and then all of a sudden they're world champion again.
And I think it's another thing too of we've gotten to the point where I think that the company knows that, because now it's this big push on these mid-card titles and trying to make them feel like world titles. And don't get me wrong, they do. But that's not how it should be. But it had to become like that because the world title pictures have been held up for so long. Like even too, like Toni Storm tonight, it felt like this is the first time she's even saying the names of other women on the roster that aren't Mariah. Like even her saying the words Kris Statlander and Willow Nightingale.
But Toni worries me in particular because the character is so particular, and it was proven to work very well with what you had going on with Mariah. How you're able to build another feud of substance, someone to defeat her for the world title with a character this unique, worries me a little bit. It kind of feels like, did we, was it lightning in a bottle? Did we flash gold with one thing and should have left it there? Or, are we able to do this again? And I think, I thought from the jump, I was like, Moxley does not need to be world champion again. And everybody was like, oh, see where the Death Riders go. No, it didn't need to happen. And I think ultimately the concern that AEW can very easily find themselves with, like you said, with the mid-cards, is that if, for example, Kenny Omega wins this international title.
Y'all cook. Bro, that Death Rider shit. Cook.
You look fucking stupid. If Kenny Omega wins this international title, there's just no universe that his international title does not feel more important than the world title we haven't seen in months. There's just no universe. And I'm going to say, even if Coke beats Moxley, Kenny Omega having the international championship is going to feel big leagues in comparison to what they're doing with the world title. It is, because you've misunderstood the characters, the way that they're perceived, and the way that they're being actively received by the audience. You have really misunderstood and missed the mark there. And I think that if Toni, obviously she's at the beginning of her reign, so it's different, but Toni can run that risk as well with Mercedes. If Mercedes is able to make it click, like we were saying earlier, with with a feud of substance, with something of substance, you run the risk of having Mercedes and her million belts overshadow the fourth reign of the women's world champion.
And I don't even think it's even, it doesn't even really have to be a feud. It just gets down to a pay-per-view card in the sense of, Mercedes, it took her a while to find her groove, but luckily Toni Storm has not had to, since Mercedes has been on this killer run, Toni has never had to go head to head with her on a pay-per-view and try to have the better match. At Revolution, it's about to get real sticky. Mercedes versus Momo Watanabe, that bitch doing 4.5 or more. 4.5 or more on that card. And that's the truth.
But I want to emphasize that not on that man who doesn't like women's wrestling scale, on our scale.
But here's the thing, though. Even on his scale, even he's had to rate Mercedes' stuff 4.5 or more. Like at the end of the day, to where it's universal.
Tens, babe.
Even the real haters, her real haters are having to acknowledge that when she gets in the booth, oh, she's sick.
Dave Meltzer, I don't respect your opinion.
And I think we need to remind ourselves, when was the last time that Kenny Omega had a secondary title? Oh, what was that? The IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. They had to create a title for him. And think about what that title ended up meaning. In the year 2023, that ended up being essentially the top title in New Japan.
Because tell me, who held the world title while Kenny was US champion? Does anyone remember?
Who did? Hold it while he was.
Does anyone remember? All Elite Wrestling, you very well can run that risk.
Because I think we've gotten to the point now, especially when everything gets so good.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
We're now tuning everybody. We're now going to tune like the Death Riders out. And I think we're getting to that point to where Dynamite has been cooking to where the fans are just tuning it out. And I think once you reach apathy, there's really no turning back, because once people just stop caring to where they don't even want to argue, like even now, I know I used to go on long rants about like, I don't like the Death Riders and tweet about. I just don't talk about it at all. I don't care.
Like honestly, it's okay. Next. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Just wanted.
And you know what made it worse? You know what made it worse though?
Or
Jay White.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a Jay White hater, but he's not the person. Should be in this
does he make it more exciting for you?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's not the person that should be in here to make you care.
Oh like, yeah, who's really gonna liven it up for
I will say, to be quite honest, it should be flipped. Jay White should have been put in a mid-card feud, like for a mid-card title. And I feel like putting him constantly in the world title picture has really hurt him. And I think if Will Ospreay has to go into the international title picture before all this, then yeah, I think Jay White should too. I think that
that's a good point though. So you had to beat up Willow for a proper response. Nigga, Willow not gonna fight you. That's what she cannot be the savior of the men's world title because y'all too pussy.
Oh, okay, never mind. We can't say the thing about Kenny's title reign. Yeah, it was a real champion. That was Okada. Okada was champion.
Yeah, Kazuchika Okada.
And that was his seven. That was the reign. He was actually so dominant. He was Athena essentially. He was Athena.
But what I will say about Cash Money Kazu, he himself is an exception to this rule. It's just but the principle remains, kids.
Yes.
What was the feud of the year? What was the talk of the town, girls?
He held that title for 720 days, and you want to know all they could talk about afterwards was his feud with who? Kenny Omega. He had all-timer matches with some of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and to this day, you want to know what that's remembered for? Kenny Omega.
And you know what? I'm gonna say briefly, just quickly. I tweeted the other day that I thought that the international title setup was stupid as fuck because it was a tournament that Takeshita has to go through to get to fight Kenny at the end. I understand the premise. People being like, "Oh, Kenny pinned Takeshita at the thing." I get it. I still think it's dumb as fuck that the prize is fighting someone who is not the champion.
It's dumb, but it's kind of beast. It is beast.
But hey, that's what I'm saying. Kenny Omega is the exception to all rules. Fighting Kenny Omega is the prize, babe. It is. Because that's what Best Bout Machine, baby. Who's gonna give you the match of your life? Who's gonna give you the memorable moments? Who's gonna make you a star if there's anything to be made? Kenny Omega. Does that excuse AEW's fuck ass booking? No. But I wrote that tweet and niggas was in my mentions talking about oh, you don't understand. Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega is the prize. Kenny
They was on your ass. They was on you.
Every single one of you bitches have no idea the plight that I've been through as a Kenny Omega wanter, wisher, admirer, and defender. Okay? Every week, this nigga was gone for a straight up calendar year. Every week got on this show and said, wow, guys, I just really miss Kenny Omega. The show was great
for him every single.
The show was great. I just really miss Kenny Omega. For me to be accused of not loving Kenny Omega enough is actually fucking insane.
I know you felt personally offended. They done said some.
I almost deleted the whole account.
They done said some crazy stuff to you on the internet, but that just took you.
That was the worst thing. I've been called everything under the sun. Every slur imaginable. Nothing has ever hurt me the way that this hurt me. What did she do to make these niggas that mad? I was like, clearly you bitches don't understand. None of you love Kenny Omega the way that I do. You just, and I know that's between me and him.
You'll never get it.
God knows my heart, and so does the God of pro wrestling. So that's ultimately where it settles. I was like,
that international championship tournament, it kind of scared me because I said, Tony Khan, you booking like me. That's something I would do. I said, yeah.
I would have had Roddy win this one, though.
And the winner gets to face Kenny. Period. Ding.
But even that's why I'm like, you just like having a guy like that on your roster that's just like that's just final boss like that. And everybody being okay with it and invested in it, and you still doing dumbass Death Rider shit is absurd to me. Watching Grand Slam Australia, seeing the response that Kenny Omega got, and then watching niggas was eating out the palm of his hand. It was crazy. He could do no. That's why I'm like, having a guy like that and then having people apathetic to your world title is
the world title that he had the greatest reign of just I do want to, because we have to wrap up soon. I wanted to say really quickly, Hobbs and Bill. This was amazing.
I love Powerhouse Hobbs.
I wish that this was on pay-per-view, but I love free things, so I will not complain. But I wish it was on pay-per-view. And Kris Statlander versus Megan Bane. Good God. I want you. This is what I want to see. I want to see top girls. Top girls. I want to see, but this won't be the last time. I'm not gonna lie. I get why it happened, but I'm not thrilled about Rosa being Chris's backup in this. Like, can we get Jamie? Can we get Willow? Can we get anybody else? And also, speaking of Willow, Marina Shafir and Jon Moxley. Touch Willow again, see what happened. Touch her again, see. Touch her again, see what happened. You're not seeing the pearly gates. We're not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. Touch her again, see what happened.
That you will be dealt with.
Trust, you will be dealt with. I mean that, but also, I mean, like, AEW has a fleet right now, and I mean, it's a genuine fleet of these stallion powerhouses. You got you got Megan Bane, you got Willow, you got Queen Aminata, you got these girls that really just strong. Jamie has muscles for days. You have just a fleet of these. Wow.
And you know what I'll say? I'm actually not mad about Thunder Rosa's involvement. I'm more mad about Penelope Ford. I don't dislike Penelope Ford. You have no business in what's going on right here. I'm
gonna be honest,
this was two strong girls that were going at it, that were cooking. Seeing you there really pissed me off.
I think that's also why I'm like, are they leading to are they getting women's tag titles or something? Because no offense, not no shade or anything. I love Penelope Ford, and she's one of the OGs, and I always had respect for her. But unless y'all are actually a tag team or something, because Megan damn sure shouldn't be your heater. So what are we doing?
She pulled out there. She real life pissed me off. I said, "Girl, get out of
Like,
here."
I think it's also too. That's kind of like if, and it's no shade or anything, but it's like if like Kenny out there wrestling Osprey. If Kenny is wrestling Osprey and somebody attack him, and Brandon Cutler come out to save him.
Like,
no, my fault. Michael Nakazawa. That makes more sense for Kenny. And Michael Nakazawa. Not Matthew Nicholas Jackson, not Hangman, not Kota Ibushi. Michael Nakazawa.
Like, oh, brother. Thanks for that.
I feel like that's oversimplifying it, but I don't understand. I want to see horses with horses. Y'all, we could get Queen Aminata away from Serena Deeb and put her in this shit. Let's do it. I mean, we could
free her.
Do something else. Do something else. I'm sorry. I think it's too just like I feel like we are almost at the cusp of something really crazy for this women's division, and I mean this in a good way. Like we're almost at the cusp. Like I could taste it, especially like Mercedes is being built like Mox and Kenny were in those early days.
But you gotta hand me the pin.
AEW, like of just like bringing in the opponents from New Japan, the outside opponents and stuff. We got her as kind of like that final boss figure, and then we got Stat and Megan facing off, and we got Willow fighting for the pride of AEW. And honestly, she is the shit that she, even her just being in these like backstage brawls, it feels more like an actual civil war than anything that these men have been doing on the Death Rider stuff. Of like, bro, when I say it just feels like we're on the cusp of something special.
But you gotta hand me the pin.
Yeah, like we gotta keep it going.
You don't get it.
And the thing is also too about Toni Storm, especially of just Toni, I know you're more than this character, because when you went off, especially when you went back to Stardom during that run, when you had that, right before you got that amnesia, you had one of the best matches I've seen you had in years. That's how I know you still a dog. But they gotta put you with the right people. I know you still a dog, Toni. I know you got that dog in you.
But I know you know what? I will say Toni Storm, even towards the end of her title reign, she had her last one. She had picked it up.
Correct.
She had picked it up. So I do fully believe that she will, she will continue.
She needs better opponents this reign too. She needs better opponents.
She needs a brief title reign, and we need to move on.
Well,
I love Toni Storm. I love what she's doing.
I agree.
I don't need a full fourth title reign.
At the earliest, she will drop it at Dynasty, which means that in the meantime, I would like her to wrestle.
I have a plan.
Some good matches, some great matches.
I have a plan.
I think she can. She needs at least one great match between now and when she drops the title. At least, and I'm not saying good, not decent, not serviceable.
But here's the thing: I don't think that you're gonna get that, because the goal was always to get to this. This was the payoff. That's why I'm like, I don't think that they have a whole lot for her following this. And the same way they didn't have anything for Mariah in the meantime, in between the Toni matches. It was largely just, well, we'll wait for this. This was, to me, where their chapter ended. And I don't know if they're going to, if they have an idea of what comes next.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying that they need to put her in a feud or anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that she does need to wrestle some great matches. She went on a losing tour in Japan and Mexico, all these places. Even if you have some of those people to come in and just so she can beat them in AEW, I'm cool with that. Outside opponents, I'm cool with that. If that's what they're doing with Mercedes right now, because they don't have no long-term feud with her, and I'm fine with it as long as it's something fresh and it's fun. But at the same time, as world champion, especially if Mercedes is doing all this with the TBS championship and wrestling these excellent matches, I'm sorry, we're not getting away with 3.5s, 3.25s. No, especially on pay-per-view. Enough. We're done with mediocrity. I am tired. And somebody said this on Twitter, and I agree with it. I think a lot of times because of the barriers that are laid in place for women being successful in wrestling, that a lot of times we make our standards much lower for women's wrestling, and it's not helping. It is not helping at all. And I think one of the we have to do better. Like, we have to do better, specifically for Toni. Toni has one of the most generational characters of our entire, my entire time watching wrestling, for like a woman character, 100% generational. But the ring work does have to add up. It does have to add up. And some of it hasn't been her fault, because, she hasn't been given the best opponents. But at the end of the day, we tired of excuses. Like, if people, you see what happens when Mercedes has a TV match, people expect literally the world out of her, or else the sky is going to fall out. For a world championship, standards have to be higher. And I think that right now there's a lot of excuses being made for both the men's and the women's championship. But honestly, I feel like we at a point should get off the pot. Y'all have a stadium to sell. Like, I hate to keep bringing it back to that. You have a stadium that needs to be sold by July 12th. Can you honestly say that the work being done right now is contributing towards that positively? And the answer is no, at least not from those particular belts. Maybe potentially, yeah, the mid-card, etc. But if the mid-card is carrying it, they shouldn't be in the mid-card. They should be at the top.
Clocked.
That's all I got. My thing is cool. Even if this is going to be brief, she's not going to drop it until at least Dynasty, which is fine. But something has to be great, because I refuse to believe that Toni Storm gave all her best matches to organizations that are not AEW. I refuse to believe that. Do something else. Do something else. I'm tired of the standards of just people. Think about it. I saw Swerve and Ospreay with my own 2 eyes last year. Like, we saw greatness, excellence. We saw excellence. We haven't seen a world title match better than, at least on the women's side, we still have not seen a better world title match than Jamie and Sheeta. And that happened in 2022, bro. We still, that to this day, I think that was the last best women's world title match was in 2022. If we want to be completely honest about it. That's unacceptable. Don't get me wrong. Toni and Mariah, they had really good matches. It was good, really good. But unfortunately, especially now that Mercedes is in the division, what's she doing in TBS championship? We need great. We need great. And even I think also too, when you think about the best matches for 2024 from the women's division, 2 of those came from Willow and not 2. Most of them came from either Willow Nightingale or Kris Statlander, and neither of them have ever won the world title. That's crazy. Mercedes is TBS champion. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. And then Toni under 4th reign.
Yes, if we gonna do this if we really gonna do a 4th reign for Toni, then yeah, she needs to be wrestling. Don't say them girls' name if you ain't about to wrestle them. Truly, don't say them girls' names if you ain't really about to get in the field with them. Willow and Kris, they gave them the shittiest slot at All Out. They were after Ospreay Pac. They said, ain't no way they about to follow this. They didn't have a title on the line or nothing. Stole the show. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. And I hate to be like that, but I think I've gotten so frustrated of just, and it's not even just an AEW, but I'm not a big WWE fan, so I don't got no dog in that fight. But I'm just seeing, especially as we head into Mania season, like, no, I'm tired of booking women's matches off of vibes. You used to have a guaranteed 4.75 at minimum classic at WrestleMania, a women's match every year. That used to be the standard. Bianca versus Sasha, Bianca versus Becky, Charlotte versus Rhea. We used to have guaranteed greatness on shows. The bars in hell. I'm just like, don't get me wrong. I love when the girls look cute and fly. I love that. I love a good story. And I love homoeroticism. I do. Fuck, I do. But at the same time, this is wrestling. Bar for bar wrestling. That's it. Danny? Oh, she just muted.
Oh, I was brushing my teeth.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't know yell like that.
I completely agree though. And like I said, I just like, especially this is round 4, dude. Round 4. I would argue that this is setting you up to not meet those expectations, because the reality is that between the first 3 title reigns, we didn't really get it.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I would argue that we got Tony's best matches when she didn't really have a character at all. Tony, to this day, I think Full Gear 2022 versus Jamie Hayter is the best match that she's had in AEW. I stand by that. Like, I think that that was her best match. The match that she had with Jamie, 100%. And the best match that she's had since that was versus Mayu Iwatani in Stardom. Don't get me wrong, the all-in match was really good and the crowd was into it. But I think I'm tired. I think we make excuses for women's wrestling because we want it to be great so bad. And we choosing stuff based on vibes and stories, and that, don't get me wrong. But you could tell a story in the ring. Willow and Stat they had half a build, and the story they told in that ring, like, that's an all-timer, especially they had 2 of them. I mean, Mercedes and Stat, yeah, they had 2 of them. I don't know. Yeah, bring in Azumi. They got, she smacked the taste back in the Tony mouth before. Put her on pay-per-view. Bring these girls in. Also, too, ahead of start of Forbidden Door, we need to start introducing some of these wrestlers ahead of time so AEW fans stop acting like they don't know what New Japan is by the time Forbidden Door comes around. That's why I love that they're doing this Momo match.
I just think that though, I refuse to believe that there's, and maybe this is just my ignorance and belief in the world, I refuse to believe that there are that many people that pretend like they don't know who these wrestlers are.
I think that there's a lot of assholes, but I also think that, and even on the
I think AEW, don't get me wrong, I think AEW can do a much better job at presenting why it's a big deal. I'm like, but you know who that is.
I'm gonna be honest though, there's the cross section of the audiences. I think like a couple years ago, there was a much larger cross section of AEW fans who watch New Japan or AEW fans who watch Stardom and vice versa. It's significantly smaller on both sides now.
I don't disagree. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think that people are OD about it. And OD for how much they need an explanation. They'll be like, well, then why is she challenging for this belt? It's all pre-written. Watch it. Shut the fuck up. But I agree, AEW, and because like my family, for example, and then this is my last thing. I really do have to leave, guys. I have to be at work at 4:30. So, I know they pray for me, but my point being, my family are the quote unquote casual fans that people say don't exist. My family will tune in and watch Dynamite with me every few weeks. They'll, Collision if it's on. They have no idea what's going on in New Japan. They have no idea what's going on in CMLL. They are the people saying, well, who is that? Why is this person getting challenged for the belt? And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, look. So, I mean, I think that there is some merit to it. I think ultimately, though, AEW does a not great job at explaining why people that are already all elite are important, let alone people that don't work there. I thought the Gabe intro was good. I don't know what the hell he's doing there.
I will say though, but I think that that's exactly what they need to be doing, because Forbidden Door isn't going to look like
familiarizing people.
You need to start familiarizing yourself with these people because those are going to be the top stars versus the Swerves and the Ospreys of the world. When Forbidden Door, like that's who's going to be facing them. Like, unfortunately, like the names that people do know from New Japan, if you are only casual, are like Naito and Tanahashi, and unfortunately, those guys are not the singles wrestlers that you want them to be, not in 2025, especially like Naito might never do another singles match for Forbidden Door. Tanahashi, I'm almost positive they're going to have him do something with Shibata or something like that. Or no, Shibata's probably going to wrestle Goto, but like Tanahashi's doing some retirement shit, whatever that is. So it's just like, he's on his retirement road. He's probably going to end up main eventing Forbidden Door. I wouldn't be shocked. But it just the landscape is completely different. And most of the stars that people knew of, they're now all elite. So you do have to start familiarizing the audience with these people. And I'm glad that they are and I'm glad that they're starting early, especially.
Gabe can't piss me off though.
Well, yes, but
he knows what he did.
He's the biggest star right now. Like he's the most over.
Which is crazy.
He's one of the most over people that they have, if not the most over person. Like, especially
it just upsets me. I don't disagree. I just don't like that nigga. I don't like him in the ring. I don't like him out the ring. I've just never liked him.
That's fair. But that's just where we are right now, and so they need to be doing.
I have a plan.
People, honestly, okay.
Don't sell your shooter stocks.
Wait, you doing all this over Shota Umino? Oh,
I'm not. I'm playing.
Oh, I was about to say. Everybody have a great night.
I forgot I wasn't on camera. People couldn't tell I was kidding.
Oh my God. You almost, Jesus Christ. I'm scared of you. But I digress. This is fun. Gabe did grow on me as a wrestler. And honestly, I think ever since he started shutting the fuck up, he's so much more likable. Like he doesn't talk as much anymore, which is great. I think he should do that a lot more often.
That's how men should be.
Him being quiet and just wrestling.
And breedable.
Amazing. Just shut up. Just shut up. It's been great.
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah, just shut up and dribble. I like that. I think we need to do more of it. But I digress. We're gonna see about Shota in this New Japan Cup. That's gonna tell it all. He just shaved his head. I still don't know how it's gonna look. I hope he burned them pants too. But I digress. Yeah, this was fun. Hangman and Kenny Omega supremacy. I don't know what to tell you. Takeshita is losing this belt, but I'm also happy about it because that means he's about to go on the craziest run and take all of your belts in New Japan.
There's literally never been a man more employed. Like since the Great Depression, he might be the most employed man in the history of work. I didn't want to go to work this morning, and I woke up and I said, "This nigga got 6 jobs. I might just have to."
Hey, he saw the labor movement under attack. He said, "Don't worry, guys. I am the labor movement.
I will be the labor movement."
Elite girlies, we are so on top. Also, shout out to. I really like the Ricochet Swerve stuff too. Ricochet, you've grown on me. But I digress. This was the Dynamite book. I'm also very tired. It's been a very long day. But thank you as always.
And Bandito, you're going to get that world title on Saturday. I got a plan.
Today. You will get it. And if not,
we're leaving with that world title up.
We will be having an interfaith circle to make sure you get what you want. Shout out, we need Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, and witches.
Yep.
This is an interfaith movement. Need that. Appreciate that. But Danny, where can the people find
you? Just between the river bend. At Black Girl Wrestling on Twitter. Don't roll your eyes at me.
Okay, all right. I'm sleepy, bro. You just
happy birthday, Lyric.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's my birthday on Friday. Where I'm really lucky, guys, I have something coming out. Hopefully, I hope it comes out Friday, but if it doesn't, it's probably going to come out either over the weekend or Monday. And I want you to know, it is the most special thing that I've done in wrestling so far, and I'm so so thankful and grateful, and it's sentimental, and it means the world to me, and I'm so excited for it to finally be shared with all of you. So and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I just, it's so special, and so it means a lot to me, and so I am so excited for you. And so by the time you see me next week, hopefully you all will have read it. But yeah, I'm so happy, and it's like my birthday gift to myself. So yes. But I digress. You can find me at Lyric Wrestling. Somebody actually cashed at me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for
I'm not unmuted.
Yeah, you're just singing. But thank you for cash apping me tonight. I think I got like $10.27.
Hell yeah, brother.
But yeah, have a great night, everybody. We shall see you next week. Goodbye, and stay black and proud.
Unless you're not.
Unless you're not. Yeah. Happy Black History Month. Emphasis on black. Emphasis black. Appreciate that. All right. Bye.
DEI or die.
Bye.